Welcome to the June 8th episode of the Board Brief, where we try to bring you a brief update on what happened at the recent Board of Education meeting. I'm Jack Barshinger, Superintendent, and here's just a few things that happened at our recent board meeting. Tuesday night, the Board of Education bid farewell to Akua Ajian. Akua has served as student ambassador to the Board of Education for the past 2 years. At the same time, Andrew Van Treek, a Southmore Batavia High School, was sworn in to replace her for a new 2-year term as student ambassador.
Hello, I'm Jan Wright. I'm the Associate Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, and I'm going to talk to you about a few of the end of the year items that we can celebrate this year for Batavia School District. Last Thursday, the final PLC meetings occurred at the high school. Because of the late start and the collective commitment on the part of the staff to continuously improve student achievement, the high school staff was able to meet 32 one-hour sessions this year. Additional time was also reserved for PLCs during Institute days as well. With this gift of time, the teachers were able to focus on developing tools for successful professional learning communities. Many of the improvement the groups were able to accomplish this year as professional learning communities enhanced core instruction for all students. Common course groups identified their greatest need and developed some of the following. Some worked on essential learnings in the form of power standards. Some developed common assessments. Some groups even developed common instructional practices and assignments with common rubrics. While the teachers worked on these PLC groups, the school provided time for students to receive tutoring, work on the computers, meet in collaborative school projects, get some exercise, eat breakfast, or even take part in workshops and informal information sessions offered by the Counseling and Advising Department. Each week, approximately 700 to 1,200 students took advantage of these activities. Overall, the feedback for the first year of PLC implementation was very positive, and the high school staff looks forward to next year. This year, the members of the District Improvement Team met regularly to monitor the implementation of the District Improvement Plan, which focuses on improving the academic performance of our English language learner students. Because the district did not make adequate yearly progress for 2 years in a row, we're required to submit a plan to the state that details how we're going to improve the learning of these students. We decided that as part of our plan, we would expand the ELL summer school program by including weekly theme and field trips to experience the background knowledge that they need for reading. We also developed a plan for systematic data collection for ELL student progress. We provided professional development to all staff on language acquisition, focused interventions, meeting the social emotional needs of ELL students, and making content more accessible to ELL students. Finally, at the high school, we established an ELL American History course that will be taught by a classroom teacher but trained in English as a second language instruction. Finally, this spring, the district purchased a product from Pearson called Inform. This data warehouse will contain all of our student data, assessment data, and link up with our student database, PowerSchool, which is also a Pearson product. The integration of these two systems will allow teachers and administrators to access all the relevant assessment data for individuals or group of students. Having this access will allow staff to have a comprehensive picture of student performance in order to make good instructional decisions and evaluate programs. Staff will begin to have access to this system when school begins in the fall, and then later in the year, parents will also have access to this system through the parent portal. This will give parents all their students' assessment data in one place to chart growth.
Hi, my name is Chris Mon. I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Finance for Batavia Schools. Last night at the board meeting, we gave the board an informational presentation on our preliminary 2010-2011 budget. When we first started talking about next year's budget back in January, we were looking at a projected deficit of $7.9 million due largely to the revenue decreases with this economy. However, after collaborating with the Batavia Education Association and the Batavia Education Support Professionals Association, we have been able to narrow that gap significantly. Those two associations gave back $2.3 million and $150,000 respectively, and the board has also abated bonds and restructured some debt to where we have actually trimmed that budget deficit by $5 million. Our current deficit is projected to be at $3.5 million. The board is continuing to take steps along with looking at staffing and some staffing ratios to where by the time we get to a tentative and an adopted budget, we could be looking at a deficit of less than $3 million. The next steps in our budget is to finalize staffing throughout the summer, and then we will also wait to see new revenue updates and more information coming from Springfield as to what our state revenue streams will be. We predict that we will take a tentative budget to the board on August 10th, and then we will ask the board to hold a public hearing and actually adopt the budget on September 14th in advance of our September 30th legal statutory date.